Welcome back, ladies and gents. Today we're going to learn the song Senpai, Please Notice Me by Sithu Aye. Alright, for the first intro lead section, we're starting off on the G string, sliding into 14, playing 13, 14. And then with our pinky, we're landing on the B string, 17. We're going to be playing that pattern 3 times. From there we have the following part. From there we're playing on the high E note 14, B string 17, and then the G string 16. Then repeat the same pattern in the beginning twice. From there we have the next lick. That's pentatonic, starting on high E string with a ring finger. 14, 16, 12, B string, 14, 12, G string, 14, 13, and then on the D string, 14. Then again we move on to the same lick. Instead of playing 17 right there on the third repetition, we're moving on to the high E string and playing the following. Mind you, this is all alternate picked with our right hand. So that's 17, 16, 14 on high E. And then play with our pinky, 17. And then on the G string, 16. Vibrato. From there we have 18, 16, 15 vibrato. Alright, so for the riff section, we're starting off by playing mostly, all the notes are played on the A string, on the G string, and on the B string. We won't be needing the other strings. So first we have 9 on the A, 9 on the G. And so we're muting the low E and D string with our left hand. So we have the following section. Okay, so let's take a look. We're playing 9 twice, sliding onto 4, and then we're switching onto 5 on the A string, switching our middle finger for ring finger 6 on the G, and adding with our middle finger 5 on the B string. Right here we're picking away 5, 6, letting it ring, and then palm mute on the 5. The first time it's 1 palm mute, the second time it's 2 palm mutes. And then we have the following section. Right here we have 2 on the A, 2 on the G. String break right in the middle. 4, 4. And then the same pattern. So right here we repeat the same riff, but we're adding more notes. So take a look. So right here we're adding 9 on the B string. Right here we're adding 5 on the B string. This one already has the 5 on the B string. So when we're going on to the lower chords, we're adding 2 right here with our ring finger. So that's kind of the only difference. You're adding those notes on the B string. Oh, and by the way, and also we're at the end, instead of playing this chord, 5, 6, 5, we're just playing 5, 5, 5, which is 5 on the A, 5 on the G, 5 on the B. So alright, let's start off with the first part of the solo section. We're starting off with a slide onto the 11th fretboard. 9 on the G, slide from 11 to 13. Slide back to 9. Then you're going to slide into 9 on the D. 7, 9. Sustain vibrato. Then you're going to do the following twice. Pull off 9 to 7 on the D and hammer on 9 on the A. Then you're going to slide from 9 to 11 on the D and then 9 on the G. Alright, moving on to the next section. Okay, right here we have the same intro. Instead of sustaining the 9, we're going to slide from 9 to 11. From here we have a fun legato. You're going to slide into 9, hammer on 10, pull off 9, pull off 7, hammer on 9, pull off back to 7, hammer on 9, slide to 11. From there you play the following. That's 9. And then back 9 on the G, then back to 11 on the D, 9 on the G, slide from 11 to 13. Then you're going to play the following notes on the B string. That's 10, 12, 13, 14. Notes right after each other, next to each other, chromatics, vibrato. Alright, now for the next section. Okay, so right here we're starting off on the B string. We're playing 12 and 10, and we're making sure the notes don't go on for a longer duration. We stop them right after playing them. Then we have a legato. That's hammer on from 9 to 10, pull off to 9. Then pull off from 11 to 9 on the G string, slide to 6. From here we have a fast legato section. You're sliding from 9 to 6 on the G. So that's sliding from 9 to 6 on the G. Then you go on with your legato to the D string. 9, 7, 6, 7, 6. Then you go on to the A string. 9, 7, 9. Then you have the following bit. So right here we're sliding from 7 on the D string onto the 11. You play 9 on the G, and then you go from 11 to 13, and then you play 10 on the B string with your index finger. You let it ring, that's twice. And then you have the following section. From here we're sliding from 12 to 14. On the high E, and sliding into 12 on the B string. That's 10, 12, 10. Then you slide from 12 to 14. Back to 12, 14, bend. Now we have the last bit. Alright, so right here, it's a really fun part. We start off with a chromatic lick. That's 14, 13, 12, 10, and then 12, 11, 10, 9. From here we have a short little legato. That's 9, hammer on 10, pull off 9. Once you're at the 9, you do the little legato. Okay, so from here we move on to the G string 11, 9, alternate picked. String skip the B and move on to the high E string 9 with your middle finger. Move on lower to the fretboard with your index finger 6. Then we have a fun little legato again. Here we are sliding into 9 on the B string. Hammer on 10, pull off 9, pull off 7, and then you go on to the G string, slide from 9 to 11, slide into 9 on the D, 7, slide from 9 to 11. So now we're moving on to the climax of the first solo section. It is very quick, very fun, but can be very difficult. All right, let's jump right in. The first part we're looking at is this one. Okay, so we're sliding into 11, playing 13 on the G, 11, and then pinch harmonic on the 13 on the G. From there, we start off with the little shred here. Right here, we're playing 14, 13, 11 on the G, then going on to the D string, 14, 12, 11, 12, 14, back to the G string, 11, 13, 14. From here, we move our index finger onto 13 and continue the shred. That is 13, 14, 16, 14, 16, then pick it again, pinch harmonic. So right after that pinch harmonic, you pick it again, release, go to 14, 13, bend, release, 14 on the D, slide, 16. Alright, now for the next part, which is the fastest one, and it's pretty crazy. So, the first bit of that solo is this one. From here we're starting on the G string, playing 17, 16, 14, 16, 17. You jump onto the B string 16, go back to the G string, 17, 16, 14, 16, 17. Now we have the monster section. Notice how I am using all 4 fingers for this one as we are escalating through the fretboard. So we're starting off on the 14 on high E string. So it's 14, 16, 17, 16, 14, 16, 17, add our pinky to 19, then shift our middle finger, go back to 17, and then our index finger on 16. Then you continue on climbing the fretboard. That's 17, ring finger 19, pinky 21, shift, middle finger 19, index finger 17. Then you move on to the B string, 21, 19, 17, 19, 21, 17 on high E, 19, 21. Alright, so now we have kind of the riff in the middle where you kind of relax for a bit from all of the soloing. It's a pretty cool rhythm section where we're using the following chords. Alright, so let's take a look. We first start off with this one right here, which is 5 on the A, 6 on the G, and 6 on the B. So you have the full chord with the palm mute on the A string. You want to make sure that you're really picking through the chord, even the one that's muted right here, the D, so that you give it a more gritty feel. Right here we have 2 on the A, 2 on the G, 2 on the B. Then we move on to 4 on the A, 4 on the G, 5 on the B. Then you move on higher on the fretboard. Right here we have the following chords. So right here we're barring with our index finger 9 starting on the A string. Then we're barring with our ring finger 11 starting on the D string. Then we have our pinky right here on the B string 12. You lift that pinky up, then you reveal the 11 right behind it, which you are barring with your ring finger. So it becomes 9, 11, 11, 11. And right at the end, before you start the solo section again, you end with the following. Alright, so now we're moving on to the last lead section of the song. The first section that we're looking at looks like this. Okay, so we're starting off on the 9, we're picking that 4 times. On the 4th time we start on our chromatic. We're moving on from 9 on to 11, 12, 13 and pinch harmonic on that 13 on the G string. From there you slide back into 9, slide back into 9 on the D, 7. Then we have the following legato. So right here we're sliding into 9, hammer on 10, pull off 9, pull off 7, hammer on 9, and then bend 7. You go on to the A string, 9, 7, 9. Right here we're moving on to the D string, 7, 9, slide to 11, go into the G string, 9, 11, slide to 13, let it ring out with the 10 on the B. And then you slide from 13 back to 11, 9. Then you have the following section. Right here we're sliding with our pinky onto the 14 B string, then 10 with our index. Then we're sliding into the high E string with our pinky, and then 9 on the B. From there we have the following legato section. Alright, from here we're simply pulling off on the B string 9, 11. We're picking 11, 9, 11 on the G string. Then we're continuing with our legato 9, 10 on the B. Let's hammer on and pull offs. 9, 12, 9 on the high E. Go back to 9, 10 on the B. Then you move on with your pinky and index finger onto the G string 9, 6. D string 7, 6, A 7, 4, low E string 5, 4, 5, then you reverse it, go back to 4, 7 on the A string, D string 6, 7, and then on the G string 6, 9. From there you play 9 4 times. once you hit that note the 4th time, you're going to pull off 6 from 9, 8, 7, 6, and then you pinch harmonic the 6. Alright, so right here we're starting off on the D string, 7/6, palm mute 9/7/9 on the low E string, on the low A string. Then you're moving on to the D string, 7/9, slide to 11, 9 on the G string, slide from 11 to 13, and then you're going to play chromatics on the B string. That's 10, 12, 13, 14. Then you're going to pick 12 on the high E, pick it again, slide to 14. 15, 16, and then with our pinky on the B string, 17, 14, 17. From there we move on to the following section. So right here we're picking 14, slide again. So right here we're picking 14, pick it again, slide 16, chromatic 17, 18, 19, then you slide back to 16, slide 17, 19 on the low, on the B string. From there you add 17 on the high E and let it ring out. From there you have the following section. That's bending 19 twice, release, pull off from 17 to 16, again B string, slide from 17 to 19, and then you slide into 16, slide into 16, 14, 16, 14, and then 16 twice bend. Now we're on to the last climax section of the lead guitar. It looks as follows. So we start off with legato on the high E string, 16, 17, and then 21. Then we move on to the G string, we string skip the B string, 21, 18, 16. So we're basically reversing that little pattern, picking 16 on the high E, and then go back to the pattern on the G string. That's 3 times. From there you have a shred. Alright, so the shred is picking, this time not legato, 16, 17, 21, then 19, 17, shift with your index to the 16, 17, 19, 17, 16, shift again, 14, 16, 17, 16, 14, and then 17 on the B, slide to 19. Then you have the last section. So we slide into 16 on the G string, 14, 16 bend, add 17, let it ring out together. Right here we have 14, 13, 14 on the G, 17 on the B, go back to 14, 13 on the G. Then you're going to pick 17 with your pinky right on the B string, slide it over to 21, add your index to 17, and let it ring out. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this guitar lesson, let me know by hitting that like button. I had a blast learning this and to teach you guys. If you would like to stick around for more content, be sure to subscribe. And for tabs in PDF format and more, you can head on to my Patreon. I will see you all again next time. Peace out.